landscape itself is a finger of private land that extends from Saguache, the town of Saguache, west almost to Cochetopa Pass. It's about 25 miles, 30 miles long. And it's bounded on both sides by BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, and then National Forest. So it's a fairly narrow stretch of private land with Saguache Creek running down the middle of it. Unique in Colorado, the Nature Conservancy believes it's the longest stretch of undeveloped highway in western Colorado. It's owned mostly by about 17 large agricultural landowners. It's still in traditional agricultural ownership. These landowners recognized the uniqueness of this resources and decided they needed to learn about ways that they might preserve it and make sure that they were able to pass that heritage on to the future generations and their families. So Jim Coleman, who was the very first one to do it, Jim is quite a leader in that community, and he felt very strongly about the importance of protecting this area.
We think it's important to preserve the land because of future generations. If we didn't do this easement, we'd have houses all around us, and because it's pretty country. And so we thought to preserve the land, we'd put an easement, conservation easement, and preserve the land just like it is.
Having all the ground in an easement here, all the neighbors, you know, it makes it a lot more imaginable that we will be in business for years and years, because a subdivision's really hard to run cattle around.
We didn't want a bunch of 40-acre plots around us, and we didn't want to sell anything that way. And so now the land is preserved forever, really, and if it ever sells, and none of my family wants to sell, but if it ever does, it'll be in an easement, and that way it's there forever.
With the easement being on the place we can raise our kids, and knowing that they'll get to raise their kids doing what we grew up doing, enjoying the land and the ranching lifestyle.
Saguache Creek irrigates all the land, and that's where we get the grass. And you know, if you haven't got the water, you haven't got the cows. You haven't got the cows, you haven't got the cowboys. And that's another thing the easement does, is keep the water on the land. And so you guys in Colorado Springs can't have it.
Something about being on the land. When you go out, or you're on your horse, or you're cutting hay, fixing fence, you're by yourself, the solitude is great. And I feel kind of like an oak tree. It's like I belong here, I belong with the land. And you learn to appreciate solitude, you learn to appreciate watching the birds, the eagles, and you know, you just see the animals.
Well, we just love the lifestyle, you know, we get to do what we want. There's nothing any prettier than get on your horse on a little bit of breeze hitting you in the face and right down to them fields. I mean, you forget what the rest of the world's like.